I didn't think he'd leave. I didn't think it would end like this. But one moment, one quiet sentence changed everything. "I can't keep doing this," I said, almost to myself, but loud enough for him to hear. I had prepared myself for a fight, for him to yell, to beg, or even to try and convince me that we could work it out. I had expected emotions, maybe even tears, but there was nothing. It wasn't anger that I saw in his eyes. It wasn't even confusion. It was just emptiness. He stared at me, almost as if the words I had spoken were not new to him, but rather the confirmation of something he had been feeling all along. Then he did something I never imagined. He leaned in and kissed my forehead, as if to say goodbye. It wasn't the kiss of love or longing. It was the kiss of finality, of knowing that this was over, and then, just like that, he stood up, grabbed his jacket, and walked out. The door closed behind him, and I was left sitting there, stunned. I didn't chase after him. I didn't try to stop him. I just sat there, a hollow feeling taking over every part of me. The moment I said it, I knew I had crossed a line, but I didn't expect what came next. I thought we'd argue. I thought we'd have one of those loud, messy conversations where we both said things we didn't mean, and maybe, just maybe, we would find some resolution at the end of it. But instead, I just saw his face go still. There was no anger, no confusion, just silence. A deep, suffocating silence that seemed to fill the entire room and linger in the air between us. He didn't say a word, not one, just stared at me like he was trying to absorb the weight of what I had just said. "I can't keep doing this," I had whispered, almost to myself. It was the truth, but it wasn't what I had intended to say. I hadn't meant for the words to escape me, but they did. And the moment they did, I knew that everything had just changed. It had been building for so long, hadn't it? The distance between us, the disconnection, the unspoken resentment and exhaustion. We were no longer partners. We were just two people who had somehow fallen into the roles of mom and dad, but not really much else. Somewhere along the way, we had lost us. And as I sat there, waiting for some kind of reaction from him, I realized that I had waited too long to say it, too long to be honest, too long to admit to myself what I had known for a while now, that this was no longer a marriage, no longer love. It was a routine, a daily checklist of things that needed to be done, and no amount of pretending was going to make it right again. He looked at me, and then, in the softest, saddest way, he nodded. It wasn't a response I had expected. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't anger. It was just acceptance. As if he had been waiting for me to say it, waiting for the moment when I finally said what we both knew had been inevitable for months, if not years. Then he stood up, slowly, almost as though he was moving in slow motion. I braced myself for what was coming, unsure of what he would do next. I thought he might lash out. I thought he might yell at me for saying the one thing we had both been too afraid to say out loud. But no, he just stood there, took a deep breath, and kissed my forehead. It was a soft kiss, a kiss that felt like it carried the weight of everything we had been through. The good, the bad, the love, the pain, the years that we had spent together. But it was also a kiss of finality, a kiss that said everything without a word. And then, just like that, he walked away. No more words, no apologies, no promises. He just walked out, like that was all he could do. I didn't chase after him. I didn't beg him to stay. Maybe it was because I knew deep down that this wasn't just his decision. It was mine too. I had pushed him to this point, just like he had pushed me. We were both at fault, and neither of us had the strength to fight for what we had once had. But that didn't make it any easier. The next morning was the hardest. The kids were up early, like they always were, running around, laughing, and asking for breakfast. I did everything as usual. Made the pancakes, poured the juice, tied shoes, but everything felt different. The house felt quieter. The silence was louder now, and I hated it. His side of the bed was empty, and for the first time in a long time, I felt the weight of his absence. His shoes weren't by the door. His coat wasn't hanging in the hallway. The house, once filled with the normal chaos of family life, now felt like a tomb. I kept expecting him to walk in, to say something, anything, but he didn't. And the longer the silence stretched on, the more I realized just how much I missed him. I missed his presence. I missed the way he knew how to make me laugh, even when I didn't feel like it. I missed his touch, his voice, his way of making everything feel like it would be okay, even when we were at our worst. But it was too late now. I had said it. I had pushed him away with my own words, and now I was alone in a house that didn't feel like home anymore. I kept thinking that maybe he'd come back, that he just needed some time, that he'd realize I didn't really mean it. But he didn't. Days turned into weeks, and there was no call, no text, no sign that he was even thinking about coming home. I wanted to tell him that I was sorry. I wanted to tell him that I regretted saying those words, that I didn't want to lose him. But the truth is, I wasn't sure if he would even listen. I wasn't sure if I had waited too long to fix it. The kids asked about him every day. I gave them the same rehearsed answers. He's just staying with a friend for a little while, I'd say, trying to hide the truth behind a fake smile. But inside, I was breaking. I was starting to realize just how much I had taken him for granted, just how much I had dismissed his love for me, his efforts to make things work, all because I had gotten too comfortable in the routine of our life together. He wasn't perfect. Neither of us were. But we had something real, something worth fighting for, and I had let it slip away without even trying. One night, after I had tucked the kids into bed and the house had fallen into that quiet, suffocating silence again, I sat down and wrote him a message. It wasn't a message asking him to come back. It wasn't a message pleading for forgiveness. It was just a message to say everything I had failed to say when it mattered. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push you away. I've been scared and I've been too proud to admit that I still love you, that I miss you. I know I made mistakes. I know I hurt you, but please know that it was never about you. It was about me, about the things I was too afraid to face. I don't want to lose you, but I don't know if you'll ever forgive me. I don't even know if you'll ever come back, but I needed to tell you the truth, even if it's too late. I never hit send. Maybe it was too late. Maybe he had moved on, found someone else, someone who could love him the way he deserved to be loved. Maybe my message would just be another reminder of the things I had done wrong, of the love I had lost, but still I wrote it, because deep down I knew I had to. I needed to say it, even if he never saw it. I needed to say it for me. I needed to say it for the woman I had become. The woman who had lost something precious because she had been too scared to admit her own fears, her own mistakes. So here's my message to you. If you've ever pushed someone away, if you've ever let silence fill the space where love should have been, don't wait until it's too late to speak up. Don't wait until the silence becomes so loud that you can't hear anything else. Don't wait until you lose them completely to realize what you had. If you love someone, tell them. If you miss them, let them know. Don't let the small things become the big things. Don't let fear and pride steal your chance to fix what's broken. If you're reading this and it resonates with you, don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to reach out to the ones you love. It's never too late to say what matters most. But if you're like me and you've already said goodbye without meaning to, know this, you're not alone. We've all made mistakes, but there's always time to be better, to love more openly, to make amends. Don't let regret be the thing you carry with you for the rest of your life. Say it now before it's too late.